In 2002, the Queen had been on the throne for 50 years. Would you believe it? This bloke said to me, he said, "Are you a high flyer?" I said, "No, I tend to hand out flyers at waist level." I went to the haberdashery. I was looking for a cheap frill. I went down the local opticians. I said, "Have you got a contact lens solution?" He said, "What about laser surgery?" This bloke said to me, he said, "I'm the brother of River Phoenix." I said, "You must be joking." Well, that doesn't, I mean, it's pronounced Joaquin, isn't it? So, it doesn't really work. Okay. I fell in love with a clumsy cleaner. She swept me off my feet. I saw a coconut flavoured biscuit playing football. It was Wayne Macaroni. So I went to the chemist. I said, "Give me some rat poison." He said, "I'm sorry sir, but we only sell things to unblock your nose." I said, "I know that, but I've got a rat up my nose." Okay. This bloke said to me, he said, "I live in the sky with a Swiss clock." I said, "You're in cloud cuckoo land." I once tried to hang myself with a clip-on tie. Broke both my legs. I used to file my nails, but then I thought, what's the point in keeping them? Exit signs, they're on the way out. Black Beauty, he's a dark horse. What kind of car does an egg drive? A Volkswagen. Dad, can you put the cat out? I didn't know it was on fire. How do you make 7 even? Take away the S. How does a taco say grace? Let us pray. God, this is old. What time did the man go to the dentist? Come on, you know it. 2:30. Why didn't the skeleton climb the mountain? It didn't have the guts. What do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum? A meltdown. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. What has more letters than the alphabet? A post office. Dad, did you get a haircut? No, I got them all cut. Okay, we just had Christmas, so still relevant, I guess. What do you call a poor Santa Claus? Saint Nicholas. I got carded at a liquor store and my Blockbuster card accidentally fell out. The cashier said, "Never mind." Where do boats go when they're sick? To the boat dock. I don't trust those trees, they seem kind of shady. My wife is really mad at the fact that I have no sense of direction, so I packed up my stuff and right. Okay, one final one. How do you get a squirrel to like you? Acts like a nut. Oh dear. Right, thanks for watching. Bye bye. I saw this extinct bird with a hunchback. It was Quasidodo. I've started displaying some of my clothes and possessions and photographs of me. I've made an exhibition of myself. I didn't have a happy upbringing. I remember my 3rd birthday party. I was 15. The Second World War was no picnic because they couldn't find a big enough blanket. Okay, so I went to the petrol station. I said, "Fill her up." When I came back, he was stuffing my wife's face with cream cakes. Oh dear. This turkey challenged me to a fight. He threw down the giblet. I entered a competition putting sails on boats. It was rigged. So I went down the local hotel and I said, "Can you put me up?" And he nailed me to the ceiling. I've got a friend who puts plaster of Paris on my face, waits for it to dry, and then hits it with a chisel. He cracks me up. Ground sheets. They don't get much coverage. I've got a gun made out of a dozen pigs. It's a 12 bore. This bloke said to me, he said, "Why have you got manure on your head?" I said, "I've just had my hair done." What has lots of legs and a machine gun? A caterpillar. I was driving here and a policeman stopped me because one of my tyres was a bit flat. Luckily, I had a foot pump in the boot, so I knocked him out with that and drove off. Okay. I was working in a garage and little Bo Peep walked in. She said, "There's smoke coming out of my bonnet." I said, "Your hair's on fire." When I drive my car, eggs shoot out the boot. It's a hatchback. Okay. I'm colourblind, but it doesn't stop me enjoying life. The other night I saw Joseph and his amazing brown coat. It was great. So I got a job at Burger King and Andrew Lloyd Webber walked in. He said, "Give me 2 Whoppers." I said, "You're good looking and your musicals are great." He said, "I'm a male rabbit and I'm not moving." I said, "Oh, I see. The buck stops here." He said, "Are you looking at me?" It was Rabbit De Niro. Okay. So I looked around and there was a partridge, a grouse and a pheasant, all dressed as clowns. Game for a laugh. I'll tell you what makes my blood boil. Crematoriums. I've always been very lazy. I've got a smoke alarm that's got a snooze button. I was going to write my will today, but then I thought life's too short. And finally, I saw one of those motorbikes with the roof that goes right over the top. I couldn't believe it. I thought someone had hotwired a photo booth. This bloke said to me, he said, "I'm the brother of River Phoenix." I said, "You must be joking." Well, that doesn't, I mean, it's pronounced Joaquin, isn't it? So it doesn't really work. Okay. I fell in love with a clumsy cleaner. She swept me off my feet. Have you seen that great cricketing cook, Chef Boycott? I went to school with a boy who had a concrete bum. When he got to the cane, the teacher hit rock bottom. I see the number of people doing the high jump has leapt up. So I said to a friend of mine, I said, "How come your sofa is covered in burnt patches?" He said, "My dog's been molten." What time did the man go to the dentist? Come on, you know it. 2:30. Why didn't the skeleton climb the mountain? It didn't have the guts. What do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum? A meltdown. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. I have a joke about chemistry, but I don't think it will get a reaction. What cost just 45 cents? 50 cents featuring Nickelback. Okay, finally. What does a bee use to brush its hair? Come on, you know this. What does a bee use to brush its hair? A honeycomb. I used to file my nails, but then I thought, what's the point in keeping them? Exit signs, they're on the way out. Black Beauty, he's a dark horse. I've got a sponge front door, hey, don't knock it. I never sleep with fish, I'm halibut. I used to go out with a mackerel, and when we split up, she was very upset. I said there's plenty more men on the earth. I nearly read that up incorrectly. Yeah. Okay, last one. I'm being stalked by a sumo wrestler. I've got a big following. Oh dear. I should say at that point, I'd like to have a big following, so if you enjoy this kind of stuff, do subscribe. Thank you. See you on the next one. Bye bye.